This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. I didn't change my background. We did the Trump farewell address earlier. Boom. So I still had up the election background. I guess I'll use it one final time tomorrow for the inauguration of Joseph R. Biden. Less than 24 hours away. Creed, I am glad I could bring you to tears with my tribute to the outgoing POTUS. If you do not know what Bree Creed is talking about, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can find the link down in the description. Whatever platform you're on, Facebook, DLive, Smashcast, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're at, go to my YouTube channel, check out Farewell President Donald J. Trump, a Trumpy tribute. You will not be disappointed, I promise. Share it out with your friends. You will enjoy. We are going to be here live, probably around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our coverage of the inauguration of Joseph R. Biden. Should be a hell of a day. Washington, D.C. is locked down. And if you are a right-winger who supported the insurrection, who supported Trump, who supported the lies about the election, you should be ashamed of yourself. The businesses in Washington, D.C., the small businesses, the restaurants, the hotels, the bodegas, they are suffering because inauguration week is usually a really big time for them. But we have to be worried about right-wing nut jobs going off the deep end, so the entire fucking Capitol has to be locked down. So, do I expect anything to happen tomorrow? I kind of doubt it. They have everything locked down. However, you might have seen stories today about the vetting process. Yeah, I kind of thought that might happen. Let's the reason they have been vetting troops is because the FBI has sent out warnings that QAnon followers have discussed plans to infiltrate Biden's inauguration by posing as National Guardsmen. There are 25,000 National Guard troops currently stationed in the nation's capital. The Bureau has also reportedly observed people downloading and sharing maps of sensitive locations in the national capital. And they have discussed the possible use of those facilities to interfere with the event's security. According to the document, QAnon members have discussed that posing as National Guard soldiers would make it easier for them to infiltrate secure areas. We already saw a woman that was arrested for doing exactly that. The report, however, does not highlight any specific threat, pointing instead to suspicious traffic picked up from systems and platforms used by extremist groups. While the FBI did not mention what platforms it was monitoring, many QAnon believers and right-wing groups have embraced alternative social media platforms. Oh, we have a caller. Hold on, I might not, I don't have my thing up. Hold on one second. Please, give us a call back. I wasn't prepared. I did not have the phone lines open. But I would love to hear from you. Give me another ringy ding ding. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hey, not much, man. You invited me to call you on a Facebook thread on a friend of mine's Facebook.
No shit. What is going on? You don't have to divulge your name or anything. I don't remember myself. You give us what's your alias? What's your nickname you go by? Give me something to call you.
Yeah, call me Libertarian John.
Libertarian John. What is up, Libertarian John?
Not much, man. I'm just getting ready to leave work, and I was checking my Facebook and saw you invited me on there. I don't intend to come on and attempt to make you look stupid. That's not. That's what you said on the Facebook thread.
It's just a tag. That's just a marketing ploy, right?
Yeah. No,
you feel me? All right. Cool. So, what were we discussing? You called something Marxism. That was the thing. What was it? You called media Marxist, and I was like, well, if they sell ads, they're kind of the exact opposite of Marxist. Let's start there.
Yeah. I said that. I didn't really call media Marxist in of itself. I said they have a Marxist bias.
Okay. What do you think Marxism is exactly?
Well, Marxism. I don't have the definition right in front of me. I'm not behind my computer right now. I was just closing up.
I hear it a lot from right-wingers. They love to throw that word around, but none of them can ever really tell me what it is. It sounds nefarious, though, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it's the ideology of Karl Marx.
Which is?
Karl Marx was like a political activist of his time, and he wrote several books. He was
but give me a summary of what it is that you think it is that's so scary to you.
Full government control over the means of production.
No, you would be wrong there because according to Marx, first of all, Marx is kind of like a critique of capitalism, and he makes predictions about what would happen, and he was right about pretty much everything. But what he said needed to happen in the future was that we would move beyond government, so that we wouldn't even have a government anymore.
Using more government control to get there.
I guess you could say that, but it was more of a trusting the proletariat. But what exactly is it that you think is so scary about it? I hear right wingers say this shit all the time.
Every time that people have tried to emulate Karl Marx's ideas with socialism, which is ultimately the pathway to communism, Vladimir Lenin said that. Every time that communism or socialism has ever been tried, it's led to the deaths of millions of people.
What do you think socially? And you don't think millions of people die? I had a friend die because she couldn't afford her insulin last week. Nobody ever talks about how many millions of people have died under capitalism. But not last week, last year. I'm sorry.
Line people up and have mass graves with a firing squad. But I have seen that.
That sounds like apartheid South Africa to me. That sounds like Blood Diamonds.
Yeah, Blood Diamond was pretty brutal movie.
It is, isn't it? But that's the product of capitalism.
How was that brought under capitalism?
I would attribute a lot of things to capitalism, like the British East India Company and their conquest of India, Hong Kong.
I see what you're saying. So by proxy, it's capitalism's fault. Because they went to another country to try and use their resources for profit.
Yes. Exactly. But you never attribute all that death and suffering to capitalism. But why exactly do you attribute what are you attributing all this death and suffering to socialism? First of all, what the fuck do you think socialism is? Give me specific examples.
Yes, I mean, socialism is government control over the means of production.
It is worker control over the means of production. In a very simplified definition.
Worker control over the means of production, so would mean
like a worker co-op.
part of the company.
Or I would say, like, if everybody that worked there owned equal shares, if you wanted to use like the setup we have in America with Wall Street and everything, I think that would work. I always, because in capitalism, it puts the power with the person who has capital. That's literally what it means, right? So you use the example of Walmart. You even said it, man. You said, like, you're not going to stop Walmart's greed. So why the fuck wouldn't we regulate Walmart in a way so it benefits society?
Because the way that you would have to regulate them would end a free society. Because liberty is more important than a specific outcome that you want to reach for every.
Dude, Walmart is the exact opposite of liberty. It is propped up by my tax dollars. There are people going and spending their food stamps there. There are workers on food stamps. It gets subsidies. It pays almost nothing in taxes. It is a fucking leech on society.
Now I wouldn't say it's a leech on society.
It absolutely is.
Service. I mean, it's not.
And it puts cheap goods out there when, like, man, like, I miss the days when things were made well. We didn't have cheap goods. So, like, if you're forcing poor people to go buy cheap shit, they have to buy it over and over and over again. They spend more money over time instead of, like, buying a decently made product, which is more expensive at first. You see what I'm saying? There's like an old adage about, work shoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's more expensive at first. Some people can't afford to have the.
It's really expensive being poor, and Walmart is a predatory system. And that's the product of capitalism.
They may not be as good of a company as some other companies in the U.S., but
they may not.
Providing you with food and electronics and the things that the market wants.
They are providing me with cheap fucking shit that's going to break, so I have to keep going back to Walmart over and over again. They use marketing to try to trick me into spending more money in their stores. Everything from the layout, the way they present products to me as I'm going through the aisle.
Well, that's not tricking you. I mean,
yeah, it is. It is using psychology. And if you're not educated to be able to look for it, you fall for that shit. The impulse items that are right there at the register. I think it's insidious. I think advertising is insidious. I think the fact that 30 years later I still sing the Chili's Baby Back Ribs song in my fucking head, that it occupies space, is just it's fucking psychological terrorism. And that's capitalism.
Whoa. How is the Chili's song terrorism? That's not violent.
It is psychological terrorism. It is occupying space in my brain, and it got there when I was a child. When I was a child, that shit got implanted, and 30 years later, I've still got that fucking jingle in my head to sell fucking ribs.
Not violently.
That's insidious. No, I would say that's worse than violence. Fuck. And we let companies do that shit.
Not really that much worse having to listen to the Chili's song?
Yes. I think that's horrible that we let people do that to children.
We can't advertise?
I don't think it's right. No.
Then how is anybody going to know when a company is offering a service to someone?
Why wouldn't you know? Because you Google, you do your research. I don't like advertising on the media. I don't like watching commercials. I don't think it's right.
Well, I mean, commercials.
I also think that it slants the coverage. You shouldn't have commercials on news.
I mean, as far as commercials go, I mean, we have to be able to have commercials. In order for somebody to Google it, they have to put it on Google. That's an advertisement. We have to.
Man, you don't try to explain to me how advertising works. Do you want to know what I do for a fucking living?
Yeah, exactly. So why?
I make fucking advertising for people.
So why should you not be?
And it's insidious. It's fucking wrong. I know for a fact, man, especially because I make a lot of right-wing propaganda, because right-wingers pay a lot of fucking money. They're the ones that have the money, right?
Well, I mean, it's Mark Cuban has a lot of money, and I wouldn't call him right-wing, so.
Dude. So to be left-wing, you would have to be like advocating, the abolition of private property. Mark Cuban is a fucking capitalist. He's right-wing. A lot of people in this country don't fucking understand the political spectrum, and it pisses me off.
That's true. I do agree.
Where do you think Joe Biden falls on the political spectrum?
I'd put him close to a moderate. That's the way he's been his entire.
He's a fucking hardcore right-winger.
A hardcore right. I don't know. He's doing a lot of left-wing things with the things that
he's being forced to by the party because of people like me. Luckily.
Well, I mean, he is going to pretty much have open borders on his first day. It's what he's already announced. Who knows?
I do not think his proposal was anything like open borders. That's one of the reasons why I just get pissed off at right-wingers and call them morons. They just make shit up.
That's not really making shit up. If you give a
Yes, it is. His proposal was nothing like open fucking borders. It was like an 8-year pathway to citizenship for people that I haven't had a chance to really look it over. I've only skimmed over. It was definitely not open borders.
Here's the concept of where I'm coming from with that.
That you're incredibly ill-informed. You've been listening to Fox News or Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, all the fucking right-wing bullshit, and you don't know what you're talking about. That's what's going on.
I'll explain to you if you let me.
Oh, please do.
With 11 million people getting a pathway to citizenship, you're rewarding them coming over here illegally. Therefore, the people that are not here yet will say, hey, there's 11 million people that just got a pathway to citizenship by doing what I want to do.
Who gives a shit? Okay, so I believe in freedom, and I don't think another human being should be able to tell me where I can and cannot live, okay? I think I have the ability to roam wherever the fuck I want to. So I think every other human being should have that. I don't see any borders when I look at the earth.
Well, I mean,
I thought you said you were a libertarian. What the fuck?
That's very selective.
Do you think another country should be able to tell you no if you want to move there?
Well, that's a very selective view of liberty because you're very libertarian when it comes to borders, but not very libertarian when it comes
I'm pretty goddamn libertarian about a lot of things. I just don't call myself a libertarian. The people that call themselves a libertarian are usually kind of dumb.
So why is it that you're okay with borders being a libertarian view, but not people's money in a free market?
Because you explained why. What happens with Walmart? Because they end up exploiting their workers. They end up living off the government. Why do you think it's okay for them to have socialism? Why do you think the government should prop up private industry?
I don't. That's crony capitalism. I never said anything about tax.
That's exactly what is going on with Walmart right now.
I'm not saying that.
We should nationalize Walmart, dude.
Defense of Walmart. I'm just saying Walmart is the biggest retailer in the country. So I use them as an example.
I don't think they are anymore. I think Amazon is.
Yeah, I guess Amazon would be. If you count only online and fulfillment. Amazon don't really have any brick-and-mortar stores. But yeah, I guess you would say Amazon is.
Well, you just said retailer. I was just throwing that out there.
Oh, you're right. But Amazon...
And I think they do actually have physical locations now. They have a couple.
Okay. Well, Amazon is a bigger company, and they pay their employees better, and overall...
And they still exploit their workers. They still rely on services by the government. If it wasn't for the U.S. Postal Service cutting them deals, they wouldn't be able to operate as efficiently as they do.
Well, they would cut you the same deal if you did the same amount of business.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, it's a company that I would say the employees are better at Amazon, typically because if someone's applying to an entry-level job like that, they're going to apply at the one that pays the most, that they're qualified for. And if you go to Walmart, you find somebody walking around, they typically can't tell you where anything is, and they're not really the best employees. Go next door to Chick-fil-A, and they have the best employees that of any company like that of its size. So
I think Chick-fil-A pays pretty well, so you're making an argument. Like I said, Walmart is living off of the government. That's how they're able to afford to not be able to pay their employees well. That's why I'm against that shit.
Amazon gets the same.
I agree. Fuck Amazon. Fuck Jeff Bezos. There shouldn't be billionaires.
Or more. But what we talked about before I called on Facebook was about the $15 minimum wage, which
all data shows that $15 minimum wage is helpful to the economy, to workers.
I'm not sure that it would be helpful for a government to mandate it, especially since all the big companies
sure it is.
Talking about pay pretty much that. The only people this is
look at all the studies that have come out about Portland.
What about Portland?
Portland has, I think it's higher than $15 minimum wage.
I know Seattle was in a lot of trouble.
Maybe it is. Maybe, they're not in trouble. No. Maybe it is Seattle. Look it up. No. They're not in trouble.
Well, I haven't seen any recent data on it, but I'll have to look it up. But
so you're admittedly saying that you're talking about something that you haven't seen data on, and there's a lot of that financial data going out there that's propaganda from right-wing sites that you got to be incredibly wary of.
Seattle, Washington, I've not seen recent data on, but I mean it's a philosophical and economic point.
Okay, man. Well, do you Henry Ford, man? Do you remember his philosophy was that he really wanted to pay his employees well because everybody did better. The economy flourished when his employees were able to afford his product.
Yeah, when he was doing it, not the government making him do it. I'm not against wages being increased.
What's the fucking difference? And if we're in a system where oligarchs have bought the government, what recourse do we have other than us as a popular movement rising up and demanding what needs to be done, since the oligarchs bought off the government?
I wouldn't say that the oligarchs have bought off the government quite.
Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Where have you been?
In an oligarchy. Can Crest send a militia to your house if you don't buy their toothpaste?
What do you think an oligarchy is?
Oligarchy is private control over the government, over government officials. We don't have that.
Have you ever gone to Open Secrets and just looked at any random politician and seen where their donations came from?
I'm not saying keep money in politics, but to say...
But that's what I'm referring to when I say oligarchy. And when, the Supreme Court ruled in Citizens United that corporations can act like people and that their spending is political speech and it can be unlimited.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But in order for you to say it's an oligarchy, you have to find out what they're getting in return. If I give you $20, that's not me bribing you. Yeah, I don't know.
I know exactly what. Okay, so you got ExxonMobil give a shit ton of money in the political realm, and for 30 years we've had bullshit about climate change. That's what they got in return. I can tell you specifically. Same thing with the tobacco industry, going back to the 90s and the 80s.
You mean what they got in return? You said climate change. What are you alluding to?
Propaganda on climate change. They had James Inhofe holding a fucking snowball on the floor of the house saying climate change can't be real because it snowed today. Like a dumb fuck.
Okay.
That's what they got in return. Even though ExxonMobil knew in the 70s, and took precautions for global warming, such as raising their platforms. They knew global warming was real in the 70s, and they did everything they could to fight it by buying politicians. And that's the reason why there's still dumb fuck right-wingers that don't believe in global warming today.
How is their money well spent if you say anything negative about global warming not being settled science, that you are made into a pariah? It's not like there is.
You should be a pariah because you're fucking stupid if you say that.
Then how have they?
God damn.
Okay,
Because that's not correct. Do you understand that? You're a pariah because you're fucking wrong.
Well, okay. So let's say that someone is wrong for saying that. But
They are, though.
is paying for this propaganda to come out. How's the money being spent if the propaganda is not changing anybody's minds in any real way?
What are you talking about? It has taken years and a whole movement. I don't know how old you are, but I remember 20 years ago, and the majority of the people didn't believe that climate change was occurring.
I mean, that may be the case now.
It has taken an education campaign. And people like me screaming about it for 20 years in order to move the needle.
But where's the mainstream appeal to say that global warming is not real? I don't see that anywhere.
Because they've been drilling and selling. Like, dude, did you see gas prices in the mid-2000s? Did you see how ExxonMobil is the most profitable company in the history of the world? What would be the appeal to say that climate change wasn't real? ExxonMobil would have never been the most profitable company in the history of the world.
But that's not what's happening.
But it is that's what happened. They became the most profitable company in the history of the world, like the early 2010s, the late 2000s.
The mainstream opinion is that global warming is not real. That's what you believe.
It was. That has changed over the course of like the last 10 years. 10 years ago, the mainstream opinion was that climate change was not occurring. Yes. And it is still the majority opinion of the Republican Party.
I wouldn't even say that. I mean, that's
I would.
An outlying thing. I don't really see Rand Paul jumping up and saying that climate change isn't real.
Rand Paul is not the majority of the Republican Party.
Well,
people like Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, that's the majority of the Republican Party. Rand is an outlier. Rand is also stupid, and I'm pretty sure that Rand has indeed spoken about climate change. But I would have to look it up.
There's a difference in saying it's not real versus we don't need to destroy the economy to fix something we don't know has truly damaged us in a way that we can.
We do know. We do know.
We don't know the level of extent.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do.
We absolutely do not.
We absolutely do. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, we do not.
Yes, we do. God damn. Scientists have been screaming for years. Oh my God. We have to reduce carbon emissions. What is like down to zero within the next 15 years, or we're going to reach the 3 degree, or we've already reached the 3 degree tip. It's been a while since I've really looked it up.
Yeah,
but yeah, we totally know.
I know in 2000 we knew 2012 was it. Then we knew 2014 was it. Then we knew 2018 was it.
We've had different, that this will occur at this, that we're past this point. Yeah, we've had different levels that we've been able to pinpoint to. But saying it's it, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't think you understand what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
I definitely understand what I'm talking about. You're saying
no, you don't.
That we know what extent the world is damaged, and we know exactly how to fix it. That's what you're saying, right?
We know that carbon emissions have led to greenhouse gases that have led to global warming, which has led to worse storms. It's led to ocean rise. Do you know what happens when global warming compounds itself, right? So you get Venus, it's called a runaway greenhouse effect. That's what's going to happen to us if we get past a certain tipping point. And then life will be uninhabitable on Earth.
What do we do about it?
We cut down carbon emissions.
And how do we do that?
We stop burning fossil fuels. We have the technology before you go on like that.
So we have the technology
Yes.
to stop burning all fuels.
Yes.
And
There are several countries that have already reached net zero.
There are what now?
There are more than one country has reached net zero emissions already. Yes.
Well, which ones are those?
It's usually a mix of nuclear, wind, and solar energy. And I don't know which country it is. I have to look it up. There are a couple of countries that have reached net zero emissions.
Well, I like to see what the countries are, because if you're talking about like a country that is the size of...
Producer Dave says Germany either did it or is very close to doing it.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to take your word for it because I don't have the computer in front of me, but
I wanted to say Denmark did it.
Or the size of North Carolina, something of that nature, and isn't a big producer or exporter. Because if you look at a country like China, who is one of the biggest polluters in the world,
They're actually not. You need to update your data on that one. You're gonna have to go back. China has actually in the last 10 years, they found that data shows that happier workers do better work. So they have completely redone their workforce, and they treat their workers really well. And they've also taken the lead on climate change, and they've been reducing their emissions.
their workers real well when there's suicide nets outside their factories, dog.
That's Japan.
Any country that has suicide nets outside their factories,
That's Japan.
Oh, that's in China as well. And any
okay. So there is a company, Foxconn. But I want to say that was years ago too. You know, right wingers have their little fucking talking points they like to cling to.
right wingers. I told you on Facebook I'm not a right winger. I might lean right, but I'm a right leaning libertarian.
You're a right winger.
I mean, I think I know more about my political ideology than you do.
No, you're a right winger. You're absolutely a right winger.
I'm inside my own.
Who'd you vote for in this past election? I mean, both of them are right wingers, but
I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
both of the candidates in this past election were right wingers. But who would you vote for?
Well, of course I voted for Trump. Come on now.
You are a fucking right winger. You're so fucking far right. You're almost a goddamn fascist, and you don't even realize it.
Almost a fascist.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes. Trump tried to install himself as dictator in a fascist coup just the other day.
How many fascists believe in the Constitution of the United States?
I don't think you believe in the Constitution. I think it's something dumb fuck right wingers love to say, but they've never actually even read the goddamn thing. Can you see my screen right now?
No, I can't. I'm just on the phone.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. So I've got the political compass up, and Trump is all the way in the top right corner, almost falling off the far right, all the way up into authoritarianism.
Yeah, it's crazy how a lifelong Democrat immediately becomes the most right.
It's crazy how a con man who has no principles took advantage of the idiots in the country, isn't it?
Yeah, the idiots that wanted less taxes and more jobs.
Trump raised your taxes, dude. Your taxes go up this year. You know that, right? And by 2029, they're going to be higher than they were when they passed the tax cut in 2017. Right-wingers are fucking morons.
Where's your source for that?
Well, you can't see my screen, right? I absolutely pull it up. You can look it up after we get off here. Your taxes are going up this year.
What's the name of the show? So I'm going to pull up your screen.
The Troll Patrol. Hold on.
What was it again?
The Troll Patrol.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm getting Paw Patrol stuff on YouTube here.
Taxes going up in 2021 due to GOP passed bill. According to a new report by the New York Times, taxes will go up for many Americans starting in 2021, and the Republicans are to blame. The tax hike was planned all the way back when President Trump passed the 2017 tax cuts. The Times found that the Tax Cut and Jobs Act will cause automatic stepped tax increases every 2 years beginning in 2021. By 2027, these tax increases will impact nearly all Americans except for the extremely wealthy. That's because the tax policies built into the bill target those with an income of $75,000 per year or less, or about 65% of American taxpayers. So people making under 75 grand going to see their taxes go up this year.
I think I found the article here. It's good to note that it's a opinion editorial, but let's see.
There's multiple articles on it that it's going up.
I'm just checking out the article that you're quoting here.
New York Times, October 31st. Republicans, not Biden, are about to raise your taxes. Here's Forbes. Higher taxes are coming. Here's how to prepare.
Not seeing any percentages or rates on here.
I'm sorry. Well, it's happening. I hate to inform you. Right wingers never know what the fuck they're talking about, and that's my issue, man.
Of New York Times. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna call it liberal and call it fake news or some shit. Same fucking tired moves by the dumb fuck right wingers.
I didn't say it was fake news.
What was your implication then?
They are liberal biased. I mean, you're going to try to say...
Look at those goalpost shifts. Ninja's right.
Are they a right wing?
And they did. Like, producer Dave is correct. They did the tax code this way, so Dems took control, which I think McConnell was pretty sure they were going to, because he saw the way everything was going, so they would be able to scream deficit hawk like they always fucking do. Man, do you like? I want to tell you something, man. There have been 6 presidents in my lifetime. 2 have been Democrats, 4 have been Republican. The 2 Democrats have both presided over the best economies, like record-setting economies. All right.
A little something happened during Bill Clinton's. It's called the internet. I think a trained monkey.
The 4 Republicans all presided over record debt and deficit. Whereas the 2 Democrats both cut the deficit, with one being one of the only politicians to balance the budget in, like, what, half a century?
Not Reagan.
Did Reagan balance the budget? I don't think he did.
I'm not sure if he balanced the budget, but you said that he
ballooned the deficit. He did.
Well, the deficit is just the rate at which you're spending.
Yes.
The deficit's such a thing. That's when you cut.
Oh, so now the deficit. Oh, we're going to hear Republicans talk about how bad the deficit is for the next 4 years, sir. I promise you that.
Yeah, if it increases, of course.
The 2 Democrats cut it. The 4 Republicans increased it. Ballooned it. Right now we are sitting on the worst debt and deficit.
Yeah, there's a little global pandemic going around. A few people got sick. I don't know if you heard.
We were sitting on a record debt and deficit before the pandemic started, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? Right-wingers never know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you're going to say that...
You don't!
The worst it's ever been when there was a global pandemic where people weren't allowed to go to work.
The debt and the deficit were the highest they had been before the pandemic started. It was the result of the tax cuts.
Of course, the debt is going to be the highest.
Yeah, Ninja brings it up. Yeah, you're going to talk about the pandemic and then vote for the guy who made it exponentially worse. The guy who handled it the worst of any world leader, hands down.
Yeah, let's blame an airborne virus on...
And the guy that was dumb enough to get it himself. Fuck.
Let's blame an airborne virus on one person.
We're not blaming it on it. He made it exponentially worse. The federal government's response... There's a movie called Totally Under Control on Hulu. Go watch that. And it will tell you that the Trump administration would have done better if they had done absolutely nothing. They actively worked against the response to the pandemic because they're that fucking stupid.
Hang on. Think about what you just said. If they had done absolutely nothing they would have done better.
Yes.
So what did they do? So what did they do to make more people get sick?
Okay. So they sent out what they knew were faulty tests. And then the scientists told them that they were faulty, and all that they had to do was change like this rule and let the scientists pull out one of the components that was faulty. Everything else about the test worked. But the Trump administration spent a month not approving the one little bit of language that would have let them use the test. That's why the testing was lagging. I'm telling you, go watch that fucking movie.
Okay, so
Trump fucked up big time, dude.
you honestly believe a scientist came to the president and said, "Mr. President, these
Oh my
tests
God.
are not accurate. If we send them out,
No. They God damn, they were going through the CDC, dude. But there's a bureaucracy. Do you understand that?
Oh yeah, of course I understand government bureaucracy. That's why I wouldn't vote for more of it like you do.
Holy fuck. No, you vote for more government bureaucracy, but you vote for government bureaucracy that wants to fucking siphon public money off into private hands, that wants to bloat the fucking military-industrial complex, that wants to bloat fucking private prison systems. That's what the whole border shit was about. You know that, right? Just to lock up brown people so they could siphon fucking public money into the hands of a private company that they were contracting out to keep those children caged up. That's what you vote for. I vote for a competent CDC.
So you voted for Biden then?
I did. And I'm not a Biden supporter by any stretch of the imagination. But he's 1,000,000 times better than Trump. He certainly wouldn't have fucked up the pandemic. And they're fucking it up right now, man. They're fucking up the vaccine distribution. Just fucking Google the news about it. Holy shit.
Biden has definitely never given any tax money to any private person ever. He's just been an...
I never said that. What does that have to do with anything? I'm not a Biden fan. He was labeled the senator from MBNA because he was so bought and paid for by Wall Street, which is why I get so fucking frustrated when right-wingers call him a socialist.
No, I'm not calling him a socialist. I never said that. But you did say to me, you're insulting my intelligence by saying that I vote for Trump because he gives people, or I vote for him and he does it in spite of me voting. You didn't. That's the way that you put it. That he gives public tax money in the hands of a private company.
He does. I gave you the example, the border. Those were private detention centers.
So didn't you do the exact same thing?
Who?
You voted for Biden, who's doing the exact same thing. So why are you insulting my intelligence by saying I'm stupid for doing it and you're doing it? And you.
What do you mean exact same thing?
Biden has given tax money to private companies and private people.
Yeah. I voted for Biden because I can move him towards my policy. I voted for Biden to empower AOC, Cori Bush, Pramila Jayapal, Jamal Bowman,
No, he is.
Katie Porter.
We know how great AOC is, crying in front of an...
She's amazing.
Photo op. Great she is.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't know about that? You don't.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said that we know how great AOC is, somebody who cries in front of an empty parking lot for a photo op at a detention center.
Fucking everything Trump does is a photo op. Like, I have absolutely no respect for your little argument.
Does he cry in front of an empty parking lot acting like there's people in...
Do you want me to go over all the shit that Trump has done from the time he wanted to pull his fucking shirt open and have a Superman shirt on when he got the COVID, but instead he did the stupid little thing where he took his mask off. He did the thing where he did the ride around putting the Secret Service. But like, fucking, like, I don't understand, like, if AOC is doing a photo op to try to raise the profile of an issue, it seems like she's doing what she's supposed to be doing and got people talking about it. But yet you focus on the stupidity of the media.
Hey.
Well, you don't give a shit about the issue.
No, I care about the issue. But
No, you don't. You are all for them giving the money to those private detention centers to lock up little fucking Mexican babies. It's not really Mexican babies. It's like Honduras babies.
I never said that. Never said that. What I am saying is, if the issue is so dire and so bad, then why not show the actual people in the detention center? Why make a fake photo of you crying in front of no one? If it's bad, why do you have to...
I don't know what you mean there was a fake photo. Like, the detention center really was over on the other side of that parking lot.
There was no one there.
And then, like, this was the dumbest fucking... Like right-wingers talk about the dumbest fucking thing. I'm arguing with you about the placement of a detention center in a parking lot. This is why I call right-wingers dumb fucks. Jesus Christ. I can't fucking actually have a conversation with you about policy. You want to talk about fucking photo ops in parking lots. Like you're some fucking, like, intelligent person. What the fuck?
That's a straw man, number one. That's not what I was saying. I was giving you an example of why AOC is not good. That's what I'm talking about here.
I can give you a million examples of why she is good. Just listen to her talk. And she's one of the few politicians that doesn't take corporate money. So that's who I'm backing. Because I think the problem with this country is that corporations have way too much fucking power.
Well, I agree with you there. I do agree with you.
Oh, okay. So why wouldn't you support the politicians that don't take corporate money? It seems like a no-brainer, right?
Arguments as well, and they have to not be propped up by mainstream media, and they have to not be...
Dude. Did you know that Republicans have, like, AOC has more of a name recognition among Republicans than she does Democrats? And that's because, like, it's right-wing media constantly attacking her. She's not propped up by the media. It's right-wing media because idiots like you have a fetish for her. Yeah, you'll tune in to the Ben Shapiro clips where he's talking about AOC.
Yeah, because she is touted as this great senator that is going to...
She is. She's not... Well, first of all, she's not a senator. She's a congressperson.
Well,
right-wingers never know what the fuck they're talking about, but she absolutely... We have played clip after clip after clip after clip of her on this show. I have proven what a great congressperson she is.
I'm not saying you prove anything, but left-wingers like to cherry-pick one aspect of something somebody said to... You
just cherry-picked one instance of her being in a parking lot. Holy fuck. I swear to God, not only are right-wingers fucking morons, they don't have a lick of self-awareness.
My God. Cherry-pick one small aspect of something I said that is not 100% accurate, and you act like it discredits my entire argument. All that does is make you look like a horrible debater.
What? Holy shit.
Yeah, like if I said something where you misspoke, and then I act like you're wrong about everything else that you just
What
said.
did you misspeak about? What?
That's not a good debate tactic.
Oh, shit.
Hey, where do you want to eat? I don't know, and then you argue about it for 15 minutes. That's the level of debate that is. By saying, oh, well, first of all, she's not a senator. She's a congresswoman. Like, that makes her good somehow because I accidentally said senator.
No. I was pointing out that you didn't know what you were talking about. Like, right-wingers never fucking do. Sorry.
That's discrediting my entire argument based on me saying one thing wrong. That's a...
your argument was laughable. I was just pointing out the thing you said wrong on top of it. No.
No, what you said was, well, first of all, she's a congresswoman, not a senator. Right-wingers never know what the fuck they're talking about.
They don't.
That quote for discrediting my entire argument. That is a shitty debate tactic. It does not make you look more intelligent. It makes you look childish.
Okay, let's rewind then. What was the crux of your argument?
Was that if the situation at the border was as bad as what she was trying to make it out to be, why not just show real footage or a real photograph rather than fake one? Why would you need to fake one to get people's attention to it? I'm
pretty sure we did see real photographs, didn't we? Also, there was a press blackout as well. There were stories about them not letting Congress people into the detention centers and them not letting press in.
Well, she was there. She went in. It might have been after that because she tried to act like they were drinking out of a toilet when they were actually drinking out of. I mean,
well, no. They were drinking out of a toilet, but yeah. There's toilets that had the little fountains on the side of them.
On the side.
But like it's true. Like I've seen them in jail. I've been to jail, motherfucker. What?
Center, and that's how
it is. It is kind of like it's weird to be drinking out of a fountain, like with your face right next to a fucking toilet. Yeah, as Jordan points out, you hate AOC, but you don't even know her fucking position.
Yeah, I do. I'm explaining it to you. You're just talking over me.
No, you're not. You're telling me about how you think she's a phony because she went out to a parking lot. You're not. You have no fucking clue about her position.
Okay. Yes, I do.
No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You didn't even know what fucking house she served in.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You take one cherry-picked little detail to act like I'm wrong about everything.
You have been. You've been wrong about everything. Like that's not. I just keep pointing out the wrongness. Thank you for calling in, though. Libertarian Jonathan, right? Is that what you said?
Just a tip, though. If you're going to debate people, try to use
just the tip. No.
Not strawman arguments like you have this entire time.
I have not strawmanned you.
As if it gets rid of my entire argument. She took a
I didn't.
Take the real one. That's what I'm trying to say. And you're saying that she's right about them drinking out of a toilet? No, she didn't. They didn't drink out of a toilet bowl. They drank out of it's a toilet and fountain combo. That is what.
Yeah, and your face is like a foot away from a fucking toilet.
Yeah, it's not good, but that's what every jailhouse and every prison has in their cells.
These people are fucking innocent. They didn't do anything. These children. Fucking right-wingers are cruel motherfuckers.
See the video of inside where that...
Yes, let's make children drink out of a toilet bowl. Because right-wingers are so pro-life.
See, if I was like you, I would say technically it wasn't a toilet bowl.
Let's make them drink out of a toilet bowl so private detention companies can earn record profits. That's what I hear when I hear right-wingers fucking talk about this shit.
No, I'm not for the for-profit prison system either. I'm not saying that. Like that's the crux of all your arguments are strawman arguments I've never even said, and you're arguing against corporatism, which I am not in favor of. I don't like crony capitalism. That's what you hate.
You call it crony capitalism. I just call it's capitalism. It's the result of the free market. You let companies loose with no regulations. They will automatically, all the power will consolidate. They will dominate the market because it's what's best for companies. That's why there has to be regulation. First of all, there are no free markets. Every single economy is a mixed economy.
Yes, I know. We don't have a free market. We are not a free market.
Because a free market would result in fucking fascism every goddamn time. Conservatives seem to be finding this out with Twitter all of a sudden.
What was that?
Conservatives seem to be finding this out with Twitter all of a sudden.
I don't really get on Twitter, but I know what you're talking about, though, with the censorship.
Well, there's no censorship.
Well, when you're taken off of...
There's a lot of right-wingers bitching because they violated the terms of service and got banned.
The terms of service are changing and not evenly applied. That's censorship.
The fuck, they're not evenly applied. If they're not evenly applied, then that means they've been applied to the left harder, because I haven't had a Twitter for 2 fucking years. The president got away with inciting a riot.
Well,
and I've never had a right winger, and I've begged them to. I've never had a right winger post about how upset they are about the fact that I don't have a Twitter. So their outrage seems selective, and they don't actually give a shit about free speech.
You should be able to have a Twitter and get your voice out there, just like everyone should as Americans.
I can get my voice. I've got a fucking show. I can get my voice out there. I can buy servers and host myself and do whatever the fuck I want to do, and I don't have to follow anybody's terms of service.
Of course you can. Yeah, that's awesome. But I mean, with a public,
What right wingers get upset about is they think they have a right to have like server space, hosting. They feel they have a right to take advantage of algorithms to be able to feed their bullshit, and they don't.
no, I think what they're more so upset about is not being able to use a public forum.
It's not a public forum.
They have the protection of a public forum.
No, they don't. What the fuck are you talking about? Protection of a public forum.
They have the protection of a public forum in that.
You're talking about 230. You don't know what fucking 230 is, do you?
Yeah, I know what 230 is. Yeah.
What is it? Yes, Twitter is an ad company. That is correct, Producer Dave.
Well, 230. I mean, it basically gives public forums protection, but calls them a publisher to be able to have the ability to censor people.
I swear, right wingers just talk about shit they don't fucking know. Okay, let me explain to you what would happen if you repealed 230 protections. You or me wouldn't be able to sue Twitter in order to get our Twitter back. That's not what's going to happen. We'd never win that case in court. Twitter would win all day long. What's going to happen is Twitter is going to be held liable when some dumb fuck right-winger goes and shoots up the place. So Twitter is going to put an end to any kind of political speech, or they're going to have algorithms that are going to go hardcore, cracking down on everything, and they're going to be able to do it because it's within their rights as a company. Right-wingers don't know how anything fucking works.
Then why can I find several tweets about people wanting to kill the president, kill all Republicans deserve to die? Why can I find all of these that break their terms of service, but they still have...
I kind of doubt you can. I think you're pulling it out of your fucking ass, dude.
No, I can find it for you. If you want me to send it to you, I will.
Oh my God.
You want me to send
And why is it? I've been told that Republicans are the party of personal responsibility. I've never fucking heard a single one take personal responsibility for a thing they've said. Let me tell you, I've been banned from Twitter, and I certainly didn't call for anybody to be killed or anything. I said a hell of a lot less.
anything wrong?
So I'm pretty sure Twitter is banning people. And if you see that shit, fucking report it. And Twitter will ban it. I promise you.
Screenshots. I don't use Twitter. I saw it on screenshots people grab, but
Oh, you saw screenshots. You know what Photoshop is, don't you? God damn.
all fake news. You stupid
Right-wingers will fall for any... I saw something on the internet, so it must be true. Yuck, 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 yuck. Right-wingers are the dumbest fucks walking the planet.
Like you're projecting quite a bit, because when you say something like that to me, when I can find you the screenshots, but if I say, hey, New York Times is a little bit left-leaning, just to let you know, oh, you're probably going to say it's fucking fake news.
Yeah, you can also screenshot something before it gets removed. Like, just because you saw a screenshot of it doesn't mean that Twitter didn't take it down. Like, and the things you people bitch about, just like, why are you focused on that shit? Like, it's such a privileged thing, little yuppie right-wingers.
I mean, I don't understand what you're saying.
I actually give a shit about issues that matter. You give a shit about AOC in a parking lot and Twitter banning people for violating the terms of service.
That's my point behind the parking lot. She took a fake photo.
How was the photo fake? She was actually there. That's not a fake photo. You just called it a fake photo. Doesn't mean anything.
She was trying to imply she is looking at people in tortured conditions when she was looking at no one.
She was looking at a detention center. It was across the parking lot.
So she's looking at a building and breaks down crying, and you believe that shit.
I'm sure it could happen, you know, when you've heard the description of what goes on in there, and you realize they're doing it for fucking profit, yeah, it would make me cry, make me upset. I'd be far more upset about that than the fucking picture. But dumb fuck right-wingers, their priorities are all fucked up.
I've actually seen the video of inside the place and saw a guided tour with this guy and how it's not overcrowded and how all the conditions she's talking about weren't fucking real. I don't...
Have you ever been to jail?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever been to jail?
I don't know if I should answer that.
Okay, well, I have. I've been a couple different times. And it's torture. And those are innocent people that we are torturing.
It sucks, yeah.
And I had a big holding cell all to my own. I could kick my feet up and everything. It was still torture. And those are innocent people. Predominantly asylum seekers. People seeking asylum from our fucking foreign policy.
Do you know why they're being held?
Why are they being held?
I mean, do you know? I'm just asking if you know.
A lot of them are asylum seekers. I just said that.
Yeah, a lot of them are asylum seekers. And there for a little while, they used to be able to do this. They can't do it anymore. But if someone shows up at the border and they have a minor with them, if they have a child with them, they're automatically granted. That doesn't.
Do what? You cut out.
Do you know how many kidnappings have been stopped? Do you know how many kidnappings have been stopped because they just...
I know our government has done at least 1,000 kidnappings during the Trump administration. What are you talking about? Well, and yeah, nobody's automatically granted asylum. That's a lie.
Someone can kidnap a kid in Mexico or Guatemala or wherever, or the parents could just say, go with the guy. He's going to take you to the greatest country in the world. They show up and they're granted asylum immediately.
No, they're not. You're just making this shit up.
Not anymore, they're not. That used to.
That was never the case.
But now they actually hold them and try to figure out who...
Yeah, that's Producer Dave brings up an excellent point. If you're trying to traffic a kid, an asylum seeker has to turn themselves over at the border. If you're trying to traffic a kid, you're not going to come and turn yourself over at the border.
Yeah, because you're granted asylum. And
no, you're not. You are lying.
Hey, I'm being trafficked here. I'm not. That's a fact. Do you know anything about illegal?
How is that a fact? You just pulled it out of your ass.
No, I didn't, dude. I mean, this is well researched, and this is.
It sounds like some right-wing fucking propaganda shit you've got on some stupid ass YouTube.
Let me ask you. Do you know what a coyote is?
Yes, I do know what a coyote is.
What is it?
Why would a coyote bring a child that they've been paid to bring over the border to turn themselves over to authorities?
They used to be able to get asylum. They can't anymore.
Now, no, they couldn't. You are lying. You are lying.
Not lying.
An asylum seeker turned themselves over to... What used to happen under the Obama administration was a program called Catch and Release. Asylum seekers would come into the country. They would be taken in and processed. They'd be held for a day or so. They would be given a court date. And then they would be released. No. It was well over 96% showed up.
What the? No.
You're laughing, but that's the truth.
What's the source for that?
God damn.
96.
What's the source for the shit you've said?
Court dates with catch and release.
Here's the New York Post saying 90% of asylum seekers miss court dates. That cannot possibly be right. Vox says 99% of asylum seekers show up for their court hearings. 99% is what they say.
99. You got it, man.
New data from the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse at Syracuse University says 99%.
Yeah, let's check it out here. What?
Oh, the acting Homeland Security Secretary appointed by Trump said 90% of asylum seekers miss their court dates. I think he got it wrong. He's confusing shit.
Yeah, you agree with
because Trump appoints the best people.
You agree?
Exactly, as producer Dave says, if you're seeking asylum, you have every incentive in the world to show up to your court date. It doesn't make any sense. Right-wingers are fucking morons. Goddamn.
You're conflating it a little bit. Because what I'm seeing fact is 60 to 75% non-detained.
You're breaking up on me. Change wherever you're holding your phone.
Can you hear me good?
Yes.
What I'm reading on PolitiFact is around 60 to 75% of non-detained migrants have attended their immigration court proceedings.
Okay.
And
I trust PolitiFact. So, okay, the vast majority show up then. May not be 90-something%. Producer Dave says that's all migrants. That's not all asylum seekers. We were specifically talking about asylum seekers.
what source are you on?
I was on Vox, and it came from Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse.
I'll tell you, Vox ain't the best.
So producer Dave says the 60 to 75% is migrants, 90-something% asylum seekers. So you were wrong either way you cut it.
Non-detained. That's non-detained migrant seekers. That's non-detained migrants.
Migrants, yeah, not asylum seekers.
Non-detained. It means people that they have not. That's not catch.
The asylum. Not all migrants are asylum seekers.
Well, I understand that.
We were specifically talking about asylum seekers.
I'm trying to find the source.
But you were wrong. You were wrong though. So please admit you were wrong.
That's not. Please admit I'm wrong when I'm on PolitiFact, who has also said that Michael Brown had his hands up. Don't shoot. Okay.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
I mean, it was only Obama's Justice Department that said that, no, he's fighting the cop for his gun. But
Now we got to move the goalpost to something else you think you can win on. It's fucking right-wingers every goddamn time.
That's a straw man argument.
No, the fucking Michael Brown shit is a red herring. Don't try to call fallacy on me. God fucking damn it.
That's a straw man. I never tried to move the goalpost to try and change the subject to win on.
The fuck you didn't. No, you want me to argue about Michael Brown now, because you can't win the fucking argument that you were having before. You were fucking wrong, and you don't want to talk about it. So you're like, oh, let's talk about Michael Brown now. Fucking right-wingers are all the same. Fucking stupid. Please, buy the right-wingers or morons shirt from the FREAKIN shop at the link down below.
If you let me tell you, I can tell you what I'm trying to do. I'm just explaining to you how...
Look like a dumb fuck is what you're trying to do.
PolitiFact gets things wrong. Just because it's on PolitiFact doesn't mean it's 100% true.
So we have multiple sources now saying that the majority of asylum seekers, the majority of migrants, show up for their court cases, so you were wrong.
Hang on.
So you were wrong.
That's not decided yet. Just because you're
Yes, it is. We have multiple sources now saying that you are wrong.
Vox is great, man. Vox is like the best source ever.
They're quoting the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse at Syracuse University.
Want to say that one more time?
The Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse at Syracuse University. But it doesn't matter what fucking facts I show you. You are so far deep into whatever fucking propaganda you've been consuming. You got the cog dis really bad, dude. It's a hell of a drug.
That's what I'm trying to look for.
Vox is pretty accurate. And they have great history lessons.
Vox is pretty accurate, okay.
Yeah, they are. Producer Dave is correct. If you were to type in media bias Vox, it would tell you they are pretty goddamn accurate. Right-winger, here's the thing, is not being accurate to right-wingers is not comporting to their worldview. You are wrong. What you believe is fucking wrong. So reality looks like it's biased against you because you're fucking wrong.
Let me explain this to you. What you're saying is a fact, is new data from the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse, okay, at Syracuse University. So at Syracuse University, they performed a study. It's a think tank that tracks data in immigration courts, all right?
Sounds like the kind of people that we'd be looking to for this data.
Is that Okay, so we'd be looking to a random think tank that I've never heard of, that you've never heard of before today.
Oh, producer Dave says Syracuse University is run by SJWs. We can't trust it, dude. Those damn social justice warriors. I've heard of Syracuse University, kiddo.
Ignorance is bliss. In 2018, the most recent...
Fuck, isn't it, though? You seem like a very blissful, dumb motherfucker.
75% of migrants showed up for their court hearings in 2018, which is what this says. That's data from the DOJ, and that is probably...
So the majority showed up. You were wrong. So we've had multiple sources now have said it, but you got this thing like you can't fucking admit that you were wrong.
No, what I'm trying to explain to you
it's how you're gonna try to twist into fucking logic pretzels to seem like you're not being fucking proven wrong.
You didn't prove jack shit, actually. I mean, I'm looking at Vox, and we're talking about a think tank that we know nothing about the bias of.
Oh, God.
See, this is how you get tricked by mainstream media. A guy in a suit tells you to think.
Hey man, you're from my hometown, okay? You're from my hometown, okay? Like I saw that earlier. I don't know how long you were there, but in the mid 2000s, my name is Justin Mullins. Reporting for the stations of East Kentucky Broadcasting, I am Justin Mullins. I am the fucking media, dude.
Well,
I've been in media for 20 fucking years. I used to give the news to everybody in Eastern Kentucky. I used to write for the Appalachian News Express, the Pikeville Medical Leader.
Not all Muslims are terrorists. Not all media members are left-wing biased to the point of lying. That's not what I said.
What? That didn't make any fucking sense. And by the way, like I get accused of bias a lot, but I've been in the media for 20 years. Every boss I've ever had was a Republican. East Kentucky Broadcasting there in my hometown. Cindy Mae Johnson had a picture of her meeting George W. Bush up on the wall.
Well, they were probably registered Democrats if they're from Pikeville, because you can't
Walter May was the Democratic mayor of Pikeville. But yeah, he called in a favor to Karl Rove.
It's pretty conservative. It's a pretty conservative area. I get what you're saying.
Oh, goddamn right it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to say because you said they're Republicans that you're probably wrong because they're registered Democrats. I'm not going to act like you're wrong about everything. I won't do that to you. But what I am saying is,
if you're going to act like I'm wrong about anything, you're going to have to prove it first. Goddamn.
Well, I mean, that's...
Hey, man, I'm fucking high as shit. I'm going to get a little more high. You go on.
Because earlier when you said that about when we were talking about AOC, I was just kind of throwing that back at you a little bit. But what I said before, talking about mainstream media, not all...
That's just something dumb fuck right wingers say.
Not all Muslims are terrorists, just like not all people in media are bad people. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Okay. No, but any type of media that conflicts with what you consider to be fact, you're going to automatically have a repulsion to, because you don't want that you don't want your little bubble popped. It's called cognitive dissonance.
I mean, yeah, I understand cognitive dissonance. Isn't that true of yourself, though?
Well, I mean, I've worked really hard to try to train myself. I had to take classes in this shit. Cause like you get up to like 4,000 level logic, and you get to the point where you have to do symbolic logic, and you take phrases, you assign letters to it. It's like a math equation. That way that you remove your bias from it, right? So then you learn how the forms and arguments work. You seem to be familiar with fallacy, so you understand logic, right?
I try my best.
Okay, yeah. I had to take the symbolic logic classes in college.
I'm just reading a little bit more on this Vox article that you're showing me here.
Are you going to admit that you're wrong, dude?
Not based on Vox. I'd have to look it up a little bit more.
How many sources did you need? You looked up PolitiFact. I knew it off the top of my head because I knew it was true.
Well,
Like you've seen multiple sources now say that you're wrong. This is the problem with right-wingers. They will never admit that they were wrong.
Hang on. Now, a lot of media, especially mainstream media, will use the exact same source to make the exact same argument to do another article. This happens often.
No. What you are seeing is you're seeing multiple outlets share the same fucking story because there's what's called wire services.
This happens a lot.
No.
I mean,
I'm explaining to media person here, been doing this shit for 20 years. There's these things called Reuters, the Associated Press. There's other services that do that. There's more opinionated ones as well. They're called wire services, and they sell this to news organizations, especially on the internet, on Facebook and shit. It's really easy to just share out their shit. And then it usually gets people arguing in the comments, gets them more click-throughs, gets them more ad revenue on their website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're just it's not everybody doing. There's not a lot of people producing original content out there. Like AP, okay. Reuters. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm following you.
So they are services that like East Kentucky Broadcasting would buy. We had the AP wire. So they would provide me with a news wire, and that's who I would cite when I would get on the air and tell the news.
And a lot of it was word for word what other programs used.
Well, if you're doing like a national story, yeah, there's only so many different ways you can say that shit. And when you get to Facebook, yeah, they're just sharing out the same fucking stories because they bought the service.
So does that make what they're saying any more true because they bought that service?
Well, if it's AP and Reuters, yeah, you can pretty much trust that it's going to be true.
Not all the time. I mean, they can't.
Yeah, you can. Oh my God.
Well, how's that? I mean, how is that a leap of logic? How's that horrible? They're going to be right 100% of the time.
I never said that. That's your like qualifier on that. And if they're not right, they correct themselves. They issue corrections constantly. They are very good about doing journalism.
I mean, I'm just saying it's possible for them to be wrong.
You are just adverse to things that might burst your fucking bubble.
No.
So you use this excuse of media bias as a way to deflect. And you still won't admit that you were wrong. You've been wrong about fucking everything.
No.
I appreciate you calling in, though. I really do.
No, I think no, I mean, when you're saying, like, I was wrong about everything, I'm not exactly wrong about the minimum wage, what we were talking about on Facebook. I mean...
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. The minimum wage does not hurt businesses. It actually helps businesses.
Okay, let's make it $50 an hour, then. Why can't we make it 50?
You could raise it all the way to 50.
Let's make it
Okay, so there are like... I don't understand why people like you would advocate for these big companies that are making bukus of money not paying their workers more.
Well,
why can't we have a maximum wage? Why do we always have to talk about a minimum wage?
Well, why don't we make the minimum wage $100? What bad would happen?
First of all, I'm not exactly a fan of raising the minimum wage. I want us to chop down the work week to 24 hours.
To 24 hours?
Yes.
Why is that?
What happens when you make labor scarcer?
What happens when you make labor scarcer?
Yeah.
There's less production?
No, the price goes up. The price goes up. Wages go up.
There's less
God damn.
People are working half as much.
Well, first of all, there's been studies shown that, like, most people do only work half the time they're at work, or less. That most of the workday is just meaningless bullshit and you jacking off with your other coworkers.
Well, okay, so for those 24 hours, it's going to be nothing but optimal efficiency. They're just going to be working no breaks.
I don't give a shit about efficiency. I give a shit about raising wages because I'm on the side of workers. I'm on the side of my fellow man.
Well, I like eating at restaurants. You know, I like buying products.
I do too. And what's the fucking point?
Well, because what you're saying is if everyone's only working 24 hours, that's going to be that's going to be 16 less hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Each person's going to be working and producing things or providing services.
So you're going to have to hire more people. Companies will have to hire more people at a higher wage. That's what I want.
Hire more people at a higher wage.
Higher wage, yes.
And you think and the production would be equal? So we have to hire more to have the exact same production and spend more to get there? Do you know how?
Because what I care about in this situation is making sure people can put food on their table. I do not give a shit about corporate profits.
I care about that too.
I do not give a shit about people making money.
Well, you know, the most wealthy people could live on what they have for the rest of their life. So why would they continue to have these companies if there's not going to be any reason for it?
Well, good. Let them sell them.
Yeah, to who? The government.
Tax their income.
To who? The government?
I don't. What the fuck are you talking about? We can do whatever the fuck we want. Currency is fiat. We structure society to be able to benefit humans, not to fucking appease some capitalist god that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, when you follow your logic to its extent, and you get rid of these people that are at the top, I'm not advocating for trickle down, but what I'm saying is, all rich people hire employees. Poor people ain't going to be able to do that.
No. That is a lie. That is a lie. You take those rich people out of the equation, other people will step in. There will be competition.
Why would they?
Why would? Because there will be opportunity to fill the void. Why wouldn't they? Fucking right-wingers operate like this goes back to the Aristotle state of nature question of whether if you stumbled across a human completely devoid of society, whether they would be evil and greedy or whether if they would be like loving and useful. Now the answer to that is everybody's fucking different. There's going to be all kinds of people that you get. Every different person you encounter is going to have a different personality. But like, I do not feel that human beings are lazy, unproductive, or inherently greedy. I think if you remove constraints on them, if you give them health care, single-payer health care, you give them UBI or something like that, I actually think human beings would be more productive. I would say there's a poor kid somewhere that has the cure for cancer in his head and he can't afford to go to college and mine it out.
Well, I mean, he would have to, it's not there immediately. He would have to learn how to do that. But why would he do that?
Yeah, that's what it said. Go to college. Go to college. That's why I want him to have the opportunity to go to college.
Why would he go into college debt for not enough compensation?
There shouldn't be college debt. The idea of college debt is insane.
I'll say it's free. Why would he go to college for 8 years, 9 years, to learn how to be a doctor, to do one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth, for no compensation?
Why would he get no compensation? That doesn't make any sense.
Why would he get the same that he's getting now if there's no money in the industry he's going into?
How do you think it works in other countries? Do you think they don't have doctors in Switzerland?
Oh, no, they do, and they come over here to make money. Because over
Well, they sure are. They sure. Okay, so the greedy ones come over here to make money, and that could be what's fucking rotting our healthcare system. Do you know what kind of returns we get?
How is that greed? How is that greed?
If you come over here to make money, you're a greedy bastard. Doctors live just fine in Switzerland. And guess what? They produce better healthcare returns than we do for a lot cheaper.
In
I'm going to say it again. They produce better healthcare returns than we do for a hell of a lot cheaper.
Switzerland does a lot of stuff like that people like to point to. Everybody loves to point to Switzerland and say, look, there's socialism and it's working. They have no defense budget.
All economies are mixed economies.
Yeah, and their socialism is subsidized by our capitalism.
What the fuck? You just said they have no military budget. Why do we have a fucking military budget?
So that we can.
Somebody said you probably never left your house.
We defend. That's how they save so much money to be able to do things like that.
Oh man, they're mocking you in the comment section, talking about their amazing health care in Europe.
They're the size.
Now the reason why we don't have good health care here is because rich people have convinced the dumb fucks to argue like you do.
Yeah, because it's working out so great in Canada.
It is. They produce better results than we do.
I can give you one example of a patient in Canada, a guy by the name of
Rand Paul went to Canada to have whatever the fuck he had done, like back surgery or something last year.
Brock Lesnar lost 80 pounds in one night in Canada in a Canadian hospital. If he hadn't come to the U.S., he would have died. There are people that died.
Lesnar.
If you talk to a Canadian who's actually been there, they say,
I have. They love their healthcare system. The most popular figure in the history of the country is the person who instituted their single payer healthcare system.
Yeah, and they say don't get sick on Sunday if you're in Canada because you won't see a doctor.
The fucking comments are dunking on you. Yeah, they say the propaganda, the right-wing goddamn propaganda you've been listening to has told you that. Aetna
No, that's what Canadians
fucking paid for that kind of propaganda. Blue Cross Blue Shield paid for that kind of propaganda.
No, Canadian citizens actually say that. So did they pay Canadian citizens to say don't get sick on Sundays?
Dude, you wanted to question the fucking validity of Syracuse as a source. And here I'm supposed to trust, like, you saying some random Canadian said something. God damn, right-wingers are morons.
Oh, man.
Man, the comments are dunking all over you.
Well, I mean, your fans jumping all over me doesn't really bother me that much. Just got to say.
Well, I mean, they are well-traveled, and they're talking about their experiences in other parts of the world and how much better it is than here in the United States.
And in an echo chamber. You're right.
I don't know a lot of these people, actually. The people in the chat right now, I do not know personally.
Okay, they're all new viewers?
No, I mean, they've been in here a few times, but, like, I don't know them personally.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're yours.
And they really don't like you.
And I really don't care. They can not like me if they don't want. I'll still advocate for their freedom, though.
Yeah, Ninja is correct. There are Canadians that don't like their version of healthcare, but I'm sure if they saw America, they would fucking screech. Using some Brock Lesnar anecdote as a serious debating option for healthcare. What the fuck? Yeah, and where did Brock go? Did he come over here and go to the Mayo Clinic? Because he doesn't live far from there.
Why do so many rich politicians from other countries come here for their health care?
Rand Paul went to Canada. I just said that. I said that earlier.
Yeah, let me see that. Rand Paul went to Canada.
He did. He did. I don't remember what kind of back surgery or something I want to say. I might be wrong on that. Ninja said that you have not advocated for his freedom. He fucking served.
No. What I'm saying is, I would advocate for their freedom to not like me and to say whatever they want to about me. That's perfectly fine, as long as it's not as long as it's not slander or libel.
You've been a good sport about me, calling you a moron over and over again.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to and say horrible things about you.
You can if you want to, but I mean, like, I like to let the video evidence stand as is. One of us definitely looked like a moron. I don't want to ask him about his mom's basement because, like, that's what all the right wingers say to me.
It's just ad hominem. Like, I understand you might get a bunch of Fox News grandpas that debate with you.
No. I never ad hominem you, dude. I never used a personal insult as evidence in my. So a lot of people get this wrong, right? So if I prove that you were wrong and then called you a fucking moron, that's not ad hominem, and that's I never.
Jump and you didn't prove anything.
I did.
You didn't prove anything at the start of the conversation.
Oh, I've proven everything as we went. Hernia surgery. That's what Rand Paul went to Canada for. Huh?
The very beginning, you called me a moron.
Well, I mean, I had been arguing with you on Facebook. I had a little idea of what was going on. Right off the bat, man, you called something Marxism. You don't know what the fuck Marxism is.
No, I do. I mean, it's the ideology of Karl Marx.
And you called a private company which sells ads Marxism, which is the exact opposite.
No,
just flabbergasts me.
Wrong, man. I never said that. I said they have a Marxist bias.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I still want to know.
They continually carry water for Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the people who just think that's a great name. That's not
what does carrying water mean? Like they covered the Black Lives Matter protest?
Yeah, like that. Not that they covered it. That they made the protest appear to be mostly peaceful while there's buildings burning.
They were
mostly peaceful with their.
Okay. Do you know that a right wing group was arrested for burning down the Minneapolis Police Department?
This is whataboutism, but go ahead.
No, it's not whataboutism. You were accusing the protests of being violent. The one really violent instance that I can point to, the Minneapolis Police Department burning down, a right-wing group was arrested for that.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's like the big one. That's the big example of that's what right-wingers are talking about when they say BLM burning down cities. And it wasn't BLM.
What?
It was a right-wing Boogaloo Boys group.
No, this has happened more than once. It's not the only instance. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's the big one. That is the big instance from over the summer.
That's not what I referred to. I'm referring.
What city burnt down?
I'm sorry?
What city burnt down? What instance of violence are you pointing to?
The instance I'm pointing to is the guy that it was a newscaster. I'm pretty sure it was CNN. I can't remember. But he said...
Oh, you're pointing to the Chiron where there's like a car on fire behind him. And he's like, oh, it's mostly peaceful. Yes, I've seen that a million fucking times. God damn right-wingers. All say the same goddamn shit over and over and over.
It was a building, not a car. You might want to watch that. You might want to watch that again. But he said it's mostly peaceful, and there's a building on fire behind him. That is carrying water for BLM, the organization.
What was that building? Where was that at? I don't know that didn't take place in Minneapolis, where that really was right-wingers burning it down.
Man, I gotta look it up. But here's the point of my argument, because you asked about Marxism and how they're carrying water for him. BLM, the organization, was founded by quote-unquote self-described trained Marxists.
You say the same shit every right-winger says to me. Like, I can tell where you're all getting your talking points from. It is amazing. And then you have the audacity to tell me about the bias of mainstream media when you're programmed to say the same goddamn shit every fucking right-winger says to me.
Programmed by who? This isn't on mainstream media. This isn't on CNN. This isn't on Vox.
No, it's some right-wing propaganda that you saw on fucking YouTube from a Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder, fucking one of the nut job billionaires is funding, like the Koch brothers and the Mercers and shit. That's where you got your shit from, and you think you're smart because it's not on fucking NBC. But it's some whack job billionaire trying to convince you that what's in your best interest is actually a Marxist fucking plot to take over the schools and the country. It's fucking pathetic.
Now, do you want me to finish my point? Because it's Patrisse Cullors is who I'm speaking of. She said...
Who the fuck is Patrisse Cullors? What the fuck?
She founded Black Lives Matter. Do you not know that?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm sorry I'm telling you something that you never heard, because the TV didn't tell you how to...
No, I've heard it a million times. Fucking every right-winger says the same fucking thing. I do not care. You don't know what Marxism is, and you don't know why you're scared of it.
So she...
It's a trigger word that the right-wing propaganda you've been consuming, you're like having a Pavlovian response to it. And you think if you just say Marxism, everybody else is gonna like make their butthole pucker too. Stupid motherfuckers.
How many times are you gonna try to move this goalpost here?
Holy shit.
The rant that you're on. Patrisse Cullors, you don't know who she is. You said, who is Patrisse Cullors? So
God.
I think you know who she was. She founded BLM, and she is the self-described protege of Eric Mann, who is a member of the Weather Underground.
Okay, why is that scary to you?
Why are domestic terrorists scary to me? Is that the question?
You think the Weather Underground were domestic terrorists?
Oh, they did set off a bomb at the Capitol building. They said that they were domestic terrorists. Bill Ayers said that on television.
Holy fucking shit.
Weather Underground? This isn't even up for debate. They're domestic terrorists.
Carry water for Weather Underground. Why the fuck do you give a shit about Weather Underground?
Because I'm trying to illustrate to you that a member of the Weather Underground is allies with Patrisse Cullors, founded BLM, who has said that they are Marxists and that the Black Lives Matter movement is a Marxist movement.
What does that mean, and why are you scared of it?
Well, who wouldn't be scared of an ideology that has killed over 100 million people? All I hear about are Nazi this, Nazi that. If we're worried about Nazis, which, hey, I don't want Nazis back either. Nazis suck, but communists, the hammer and sickle was just as bad.
Sorry,
Same totalitarian, horrible, fascist coin. You don't like fascism, you shouldn't like Marxism or communism. Ignorance is bliss.
Oh, Jesus. You have no clue what any of those words mean, do you?
Ignorance is bliss. I'm glad you're finding comedy in your ignorance. I think it's pretty funny too.
My ignorance! My
You
ignorance!
know who Patrisse Cullors was? Said, who is that? Why do you care about the Weather Underground? You thought they were domestic terrorists? The fact that the Weather Underground is domestic terrorist is not even up for debate. Why do you think Obama got away from Bill Ayers?
I don't even.
See me, I'm laughing just like you are.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
Ask him if Hitler was a socialist. That usually ends well. Well, he was the leader of the National Socialist Party, so why don't you ask him?
Oh!
Oh, yeah, National Socialists are not socialists, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. National Socialists are not socialists. I think he basically just said communism and fascism are the same. Well, when you shut down speech, I mean, you're being fascist, so.
When you shut down, who shut down speech?
Is that not fascist?
Who shut down speech? What? Fucking right wingers keep saying they're being censored. I beg them to call into my fucking show.
I mean, I'm happy to call.
I'm telling you guys, I don't even know where to start with any of that shit. I've gone over, like, I'm debating whether to call it quits or not. Libertarian John is what you said your name was, right?
Libertarian John. Hey, I'm available to call in anytime that you want to stir up your followers. I'll call in anytime you want.
Wanting me to shut down. It's not so much that I want to shut down libertarian. I'll send him your way, producer Dave, man. It's not so much that I want to shut down libertarian John's speech. It's kind of that I want to go and cook dinner.
No. I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go anyway. I stayed on longer than I thought I would.
It's been fun, man. I appreciate you being a good sport about it.
Yeah, I've loved it. It's been great.
All right, we will have to do it again sometime. I would like to know your thoughts on what's going on. Let's check in like a week or so.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that.
Libertarian John, thank you. You have a fantastic night now.
Hey, you too, man.
I just couldn't. I couldn't, guys. Holy fuck, I got another call coming in. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hey, let me mute my mic, man. Hey, it's Birch.
Hey, Birch, what's going on?
You need to smoke a lot of weed after that call, man.
Okay, well, you do some talking and let me pack a bowl.
You and me both. Hold on a second. I'm getting an echo.
Well, I thought you were going to fill the dead air.
Oh
man, I've not been back. Hold on. 16 Tones, I've not been back to Tina's. Hey, he brought up something. I've got to tell a story. Look, I went into another streamer's chat, and she was eating ramen. So I was asking her about the ramen. Because, like, I'm a foodie. I'm interested in what people are eating and shit. And I was like, I guess she was offended by the fact that I called it, like, 37-cent ramen, which is, like, literally what it is. I'm like, you just eating plain 37-cent ramen.
Talking about, like, raw men?
No. Raw men, that's a whole nother category on Pornhub. No. She was eating ramen. And I was asking her if she put anything in it.
Okay. I do pass.
But apparently she thought I was picking on her or something. So she comes back and like she belches into the microphone. She's like, "Excuse me, I had hot food." And I'm like, "No, you didn't. You just had plain ramen. You told me that." She's like, "Oh no, well, I put hot sauce in it." I'm like, "Well, I asked you what you put in your ramen," and she's like,
What kind
she
of
muted me.
Is it sriracha?
Well, I didn't know because she fucking muted me because she thought I was like picking on her or something. So I kind of feel. Well, I also said like I'd followed her, and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna take back my follow now. I was just playing with her, but I really did though after she muted me.
Oh.
But no. I had went into her room because there was nothing being hosted on my Twitch channel, so I wanted to find some other people to host. So
Yeah.
like I was checking out her room, see if I wanted to host her. So anyway, what's up, Birch?
Ah, dude, I just came into your libertarian discussion. So,
I'd had a whole thread with that guy on Facebook.
yeah, I missed the whole story. I was like, just explain Marxism. Have him explain Marxism, for the love of God. Explain Marxism. It's just...
Well, that's where we started. The whole chat kind of came full circle. We started with the Marxism.
Yeah. Well, you know, they don't understand Adam Smith, Karl Marx, the difference between communism and socialism, and usually these people have never left their city, let alone their basement.
See, this is the only reason I didn't want to talk about the basement, is because that's every right-winger says that to me, and I'm like, this is my house. You can see my house. What the fuck?
Well, every right
Not my parents' basement.
because I'm anonymous thinks I'm a fucking boy, so, you know. I'm gender neutral on that.
Gender neutral?
Non-binary
I'm-
online. It keeps the hell out of the trolls.
That's a lot of women kind of try to pass as non-binary on video games and shit, so they don't get harassed. I hate that women have that experience in life.
No, it's just so funny when the guys start calling me a guy and trying to troll me. I'm just like, yeah, that's not going to happen. But, no, these people with this riot, dude, this echo is threatening. I don't know if it's on my end or your end.
Yeah, you were kind of... He was breaking up on me there for a little bit.
Okay, maybe it's your connection. But
Tom says, thanks for restoring sanity to the phone line.
something.
Are you looking forward to tomorrow, Birch?
I'm not paying attention to the chat right now.
That's okay. Tom says, thanks for restoring sanity to the phone line.
Yeah, no, you needed to smoke a lot of weed after that shit.
I just took a big hit. Are you looking forward to tomorrow, Birch?
It's like a weight lifted off of my PTSD.
It is. It's like I'm no Biden fan, but like, damn, I'm.
But won't it be nice not to have a 24-hour news cycle of, let's see, the vile lunatic orange in the office anymore? At least they took his Twitter away. I told my coworkers, the day he got it pulled, I'm placing bets on how long Twitter takes to pull his Twitter account. And it was like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. It is really it really cuts back on the misinformation. It seems like it looks like 73% less election misinformation now that Trump is not on social media.
Well, I'm talking to, maybe I'll talk to you and Echoplex, but there's another creator that I'm thinking about talking to about this, because I've been breaking down the lead up to the riots in D.C. So there's a lot of facts.
Just the more we learn about it, just the crazier it gets.
Well, the Q Shaman was on my radar because I watched him at a rally with the AZ Patriot people.
Yeah, I played some video. Birch, can you like move your phone or something? You kind of like keep breaking up on us.
Okay, I'll take you off speaker. How's that?
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
It's the echo that's pissing me off right now.
Oh, you sound amazing now.
Sorry about that. But I was doing the analysis of the riots, right, and the history behind it. You have to look at the Bundy Ranch to Waco to Oklahoma City
Ruby Ridge, that's part of the history. And then
There is a podcast called Behind the Insurrections, done by the guy that does Behind the Bastards, Robert Evans, who's a great follow on Twitter.
Okay.
You should definitely check that out. He'll talk about all the Waco, the Ruby Ridge, but you're right. It is all connected. And there's a thread of white supremacy going all through it too.
Well, and it has its basis in the Elders of Zion that Henry Ford published or pushed. He didn't publish it. He pushed it back in the early 1900s, but it was very anti-Semitic. But it's fiction. It's all fiction, man. So you said the insurrectionists?
There is so much anti-Semitism running through all these right-wing ideologies. It's amazing.
It is. And I was talking to this psychologist today about this, and she was trying to figure out the why, because she comes from a different, Puerto Rico, right? So she's dealing with a patient that just went to the D.C. riots, and I'm having to break everything down. But it's the anti-government component, the extremist component, and the radicalization online.
I cannot stress how much of a role that Facebook has played in all of this. And Facebook groups. That's where all this shit festered. It is Twitter as well, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I started getting in QAnon groups on Facebook. Just for the hell of it, to find content. Oh my God! But that's producer Dave's domain. He can tell you all about that shit.
It is his domain, and I'll talk to Dave some more. Maybe I'll talk to him about some stuff in the future. But the reason I'm speaking on your channel versus his, I have some trolls looking at me, still fucking with me.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you get any Nazi trolls?
What?
Do you get any Nazi trolls?
I get all kinds. I get the SRA trolls. Those are good ones. The satanic ritual abuse ones.
I have no clue what that is. That sounds fun. I want those trolls.
Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. What are her initials spell? SRA. What is the other initials? Satanic ritual abuse. It's a funny play on words.
Yeah, I have no clue. That is completely over my head.
Well, it's basically the rehashing of the satanic panic in the 1980s, and then you have the Salem witch trials, and then the Dark Ages. They just republish it into new propaganda.
Yes, Trump is leaving the White House at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. The inauguration is 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know what that is in London time or UK time.
Are you in the UK? It's if it's East Coast, then it's like I think 5 or 6 hours ahead.
Yeah, Tom. So that'd be 5 or 6 your time. Tom, in the chat was asking what time would be UK time for the inauguration tomorrow.
Yeah, so it'll be in the evening, UK time. Afternoon.
Yeah,
late afternoon.
I feel like it's kind of impossible that something doesn't happen tomorrow, but it's also like DC is so well protected.
Well, yeah. I think it's going to happen later.
So something like outside the ball, outside Congress or something is going to happen like in the next few days?
This was just the preparation, I feel, from me just observing these radicalization of these groups. And researching.
So how has the bans on Twitter and Parler getting taken down, which are two different, people don't even understand, especially the right-wingers don't know that like Parler was having a legal battle with Amazon over their servers anyway, and Amazon just went ahead and pulled the plug on them.
Who owns Parler?
Oh, there's like a couple different owners. There's that one dude with the cool name.
Who also owns Breitbart News?
There's like the Mercer family invests in it, don't they?
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. So who hosts Gab? Epic. Who runs Epic and funds them?
I have no clue on that one.
Who contributes to the Cato Institute and the Heritage Foundation? Mercer.
Fucking
Coke.
Heritage Foundation. They're always all over everything.
Billionaires are whacking with people's minds, man.
And that's what the dude that he doesn't. He thinks he's getting alternative sources, but he's getting these media outlets created by these whack job billionaires that are on the fringes of society.
Most of the newspapers, like Denver Post, and there's a few other, forgot the guy's name, but he runs all the newspapers around the country too.
Everything's a conglomeration. They all need to be broke up.
That and when you're like, say that, like, for instance, the Church of Scientology is nonprofit, right? There needs to be a tax rate that taxes these people because they're some of this control and propaganda does have its roots in Church of Scientology. I see a lot of similarities, and there's all these crossovers.
You're kind of breaking up on us again. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call it a night because we're gonna have a long day tomorrow.
Okay.
I appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, Adam.
Always a pleasure. Please call back.
All right.
Give me a whisper so I can hook up with you. So tomorrow is the big day. The inauguration of Joseph Biden. We're going to be here around 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Maybe a little sooner if something goes down. Who knows what is going to happen. If you are on Twitch, I'm going to send you over to Riverboat Jack, one of my favoriteest people. Please tell her I said hey. I'm going to hop in with you guys. Join us tomorrow for coverage of the inauguration. I'm going to be here all day. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin FREAKIN. We will see you tomorrow on the Troll Patrol. Live.